The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang Pilipino.
A key associate of Kingdom of Jesus Christ leader, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, pleaded guilty and struck a plea deal with the United States. Camille Samonte with that report.
One of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's co-accused in his trafficking case in the United States has agreed to plead guilty to fraud in hopes of securing a reduced sentence. According to a court record released by the U.S. Department of Justice, KOJC Administrator Marisa Duenas confessed to arranging fraudulent marriages between Philippine KOJC members and U.S. citizens in order to obtain legal immigration status for Filipino church members. Part of her job is to secure fake passports and immigration documents for members so they can fly out to the U.S. to solicit money for KOJC. Her pleading guilty to escape harsher penalties comes as a fresh blow to the detained church leader. Here in the Philippines, the Justice Department says Duena's plea deal could help ongoing cases against Quiboloy.
This is a welcome development for the Philippine government, but there needs to be steps taken for us to introduce that evidence here in the Philippines as well.
Senator Risa Hontiveros, who chairs the committee investigating KOJC-linked crimes, also welcomed this development.
Palapit na ng palapit ang araw ng pagkamit ng hustisya para sa mga biktima ng krimen ni Apollo Quiboloy. I also hope that Ms. Duenas, given her position in KOJC, would be open to participating in our continuing investigation on the various allegations of abuses and criminal acts by Quiboloy.
The DOJ meanwhile slammed news that Quiboloy had filed his COC for senator.
But itong pag-file niya ng Certificate of Candidacy for Senate is a dare to the government to do something fast. Kasi if the time comes at sakaling mahalal siya bilang isang senador, then he will have some sort of protection already. But what we want is for him to face the charges first. Not to make a mockery of the election system, not to make a mockery of democracy.
COMELEC has long insisted their job is ministerial and they have no power to decline COCs if they're probably filled out. It may backfire on him though. DOJ says Duenas pleading guilty could help expedite a U.S. accreditation request for Quiboloy.
Itong pag-file ni Pastor Apollo Quiboloy bilang senador ay sa tingin ho ng DOJ ay isa yang parang challenge no sa ating gobyerno at sa gobyerno ng USA na mag-file na ng extradition dahil hindi naman po pwedeng maging senador ang isang accused ng human trafficking, especially when there is substantial evidence already to the effect no na ganyan talaga ang ginagawa niya. So if anything, it just expedited the extradition.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
The Labor Department will offer jobs for displaced POGO workers. Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma said they are now working on 2 job fairs in Parañaque and Makati City. Over 13,000 job vacancies in several industries, including BPO, retail, and health, will be offered. Earlier, DOLE data show that affected POGO workers at risk of losing their jobs is pegged at 79,000. And heads up to Manileños and Pasayeños out there. Classes in government work are suspended in Pasay and Manila from October 14 to 15. This is for the Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction. The memorandum circular noted, however, that government agencies whose function include delivery of basic goods and services must continue their operation. The event is a collaboration between the government and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. It will be held at the Philippine International Convention Center in Pasay City. Well, don't forget to bring your umbrellas today because some areas may experience cloudy skies with rains. That's due to the northeasterly wind flow or the initial blast of Amihan. Affected areas include Cordillera Region, Cagayan Valley, and Aurora. The rest of the country may also expect rains due to localized thunderstorms. In other news, a minor phreatic eruption was recorded at Taal Volcano yesterday. The eruption occurred at Taal's main crater at 7:21 a.m. It produced a 2,800-meter high plume that drifted southwest. Taal remains under alert level 1, which means the volcano remains in an abnormal state. Under this alert level, sudden steam-driven explosions, volcanic earthquakes, minor ashfall are possible.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang Pilipino.
Senatorial aspirant Tito Sotto aims to push for laws focused on right-sizing the government and tackling fake news. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
After 2004, I was no longer in the Senate from 2004 to 2010, except for 2 years in the Dangerous Drugs Board. Again, I was able to see, and I was able to learn a number of laws that needed to be passed. That's the reason that I authored and passed the mental health law, the Doktor para sa Bayan, the free medical scholarship, and all
Kumbaga
that.
parang nanggigigil kayo pa
Oo, nakita ko
nagpapahinga
ito
kayo.
yung mga kulang.
But this time around,
Eto.
saan kayo nanggigigil pag napapanood niyo? Because we see your tweets, you
Yes.
comment on hearings here and there.
Yes, for almost 2 years now, I've been saying, wait, something's wrong with the budget. We really need a budget reform. It's now 6.3 trillion. And 60%, more than 60% goes to personal services. And then a big chunk for debt servicing. So how much of this budget goes to the people?
According
So we
to
need
you,
to
less than
right-size.
10%, di ba?
We
Ang
need to,
napupunta.
yes, we need to right-size the government. You know, so perhaps a law that will allow early retirement programs for the part of the 60% personal services, something like that. No? And then the fake news and fake content, that's really hurting the social media. And I was able to author also the amendment to the Sotto law, the previous Sotto law, because the old Sotto law, which was enacted in 1946 by my grandfather, that's why they called it for Sotto law, is the freedom of speech, press freedom law. It's a press freedom law, but it only was for print. For print media. All this time, it was for print media.
hasn't
And so,
updated.
yes, so in the 16th, 17th Congress, I was able to amend it and make it, that includes you now. Broadcast media,
Online,
and
digital.
digital.
Sen,
And radio, television included.
Wheelchair basketball in the Philippines has evolved from a rehabilitation for soldiers to now a competitive discipline. In fact, we even have a national team for that. Mobile Journal, Evan Tarinque with that story.
Ball is life para sa karamihan ng mga Pinoy. Kahit nga mga kapatid nating may disability, hindi rin papahuli sa abilidad sa paglalaro ng basketball.
Naka-wheelchair man, hustle play pa rin ang pinapakita ng mga lalaking ito sa loob ng basketball court. Sila ang miyembro ng ating national team for wheelchair basketball. Noong 2023 ASEAN Para Games nga, nakapag-uwi sila ng silver medal sa sport na ito.
Hindi lang siya yung for fun and rehabilitation. It is also very competitive. It's a Paralympic sport na rin talaga.
1950s noong unang umusbong ang wheelchair basketball bilang rehabilitation ng mga sundalong na disgrasya sa gera. Pero ngayon, isa ng legitimate at competitive sport ito at may mga tournaments internationally. Ang rules halos pareho lang ng traditional basketball, pero syempre, may kaunting adjustments tulad ng traveling o double dribble. Mayroon ding ginagawang scouting of players para mapasama sa pambansang pool.
Pero pag mahaba reach mo lang, nalamang ka. Since walang leaping ability sila, hindi sila makakatalon para ma-offset yung reach, yung advantage.
Ang pinakamalaki epekto ng sport na ito, ang pagbibigay ng pag-asa sa ating mga kapatid na PWD. Dahil sa kabila ng kanilang disability, na kaya pa rin nilang mag-excel sa isang sport.
Nakakataas ng moral, nakaka-encourage ng iba pa, nakakaganda ng pakiramdam, and nakaka-uplift ng spirit. Yes, wheelchair basketball gave them a new lease in life.
Sabi nga, ang tunay na lakas ay hindi lang nasusukat sa kakayanan ng katawan, kundi sa puso at dedikasyon mo sa laro. Patunay lang na kahit may limitasyon, walang imposible basta may pangarap at determinasyon. Mobile Journal, Ivan Taringki po, hatid ang muka ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour this Friday. I'm Pauline Brizota. We are One News.